Is this thing live, Nick? I don't even know how to do a show anymore, Nicholas, because you have just been gallivanting across the globe. You're a globe-trotting man. I got to tell you something, Nicholas. I don't know if I've had more fun than following your lovely wife's Instagram page and screenshotting all the wonderful pictures she took and then photoshopping Rogue's butt whenever you were looking wistfully into the distance.
She may have gotten a laugh out of that, but she also may have said, "Why is Joe looking at my Instagram so much?"
You can tell her why, right?
Yeah.
I'm not being a creep.
She knows why.
It was for pure content, especially the Abbey Road. I've gotten more mileage out of that recreation of Abbey Road than which I can merge, because on my wedding day, we got married at the Renaissance Hotel at Patriots Place, brag. And I had the photographer take our pictures sort of in that classic Abbey Road thing, and then she did an awesome job at sort of photoshopping us like that. And so now I've got to combine the two of us, because I think I did one with you, and I can't remember who I put.
You put Rogue, one of your like new versions of Rogue that you found that you wanted to utilize.
Oh yeah, cosplayer. Yeah,
me, Jake Cronenworth.
Yeah.
And then who was the other person that you put in there? I actually had no idea who.
Geez. Okay,
it was some dude without his shirt on. I don't know, but I'll tell you what. When I took the Abbey Road picture, I didn't think there would be nobody there, but I didn't expect there to be like traffic going on the entire time. Like, it's still like a functioning road. It wasn't like out of control traffic or anything, but it's like you're trying to take these pictures or, do a video or whatever. And it's like, no, there's like cars here. You guys gotta, respect what the hell's going on.
Did I not send you the picture? I have to go and dig for it.
But I don't remember where you put it. I think you sent it to me. I'm pretty sure you did.
I know I sent it to the group chat. I'll have to go back and dig for it. But anyways,
yes,
Nicholas, welcome back. It's the first time in a long time that we've done this. And with that, folks, I've talked way too long. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages, Geeks Worldwide Radio and the Dork Shared Universe proudly present to you the greatest, and I mean the greatest. Don't you ever friggin' doubt it that we are the greatest podcasting team in the world. He's the comic book writer, Nick Fryer. I'm your friendly neighborhood backcracker, Dr. Joe. And together we are the TLDR Comic Book Club, baby. No rust there, baby.
Hey, look at you. You are. Yeah. It's like nothing ever happens. Like, we haven't been doing this whole Christmas in July event the whole time without that intro. And for those wondering what the hell is our Christmas in July event, we have been talking to creators across the industry, as we do with our Friarside chats. But while Joe was off visiting, where were you again? You were in Northern New Hampshire?
I was in Santa's Village and Storyland, and just having a grand old time.
Right. Okay. And then you got another vacation coming up at the end of the month. I had a vacation smack dab in the middle of the month. So we're both out and about doing a bunch of shit. So we're like, what are we going to do? Let's get a ton of interviews. And that's our Christmas in July event. Started it with Kieran Gillen, took the next step with Ryan Stegman the week of X-Men starting. Then we got Kill Your Darlings on for a third time with the trade now available. So we got to talk a ton of spoilers with those guys.
The Eisner nominated Kill Your Darlings crew.
That is very true. We had a great time talking spoilers with them. We did make sure, if you haven't listened to that already, we made sure in the show notes to mention when we get into spoilers so nothing gets ruined for anybody. And then that's not going to be the end of Christmas in July event. We are doing August because Joe is going to be away for the last week of July. We do have one more interview. And we will let you guys know exactly what comic we're going to be talking about, what creators we're going to be talking about a little bit later in this conversation. But we're going to hold off on that for right now, Joe, because we got to get moving on this August Solicit. As such, obviously, we've been away from the mics for a little while. We've been catching up on a ton of stuff, so much so that we're not going to get into it. But I will also add, we're going to have an early look in this conversation at a book that came out comes up next month.
Anakin Jiff, I hate you.
And but well, you know what, Joe, you use that hate, because I know you got some emotions to work through right now that you have had pent up, at least since we last convened, regarding some of the recent DC stuff.
It's been a wildly bipolar rant here, but that's how I do things. I'm probably undiagnosed bipolar. But we got this massive announcement. We've been sort of waiting for this, and because we knew something was big coming down the pike with DC, and we knew that Scott Snyder was going to be sort of at the heart of it, and so we got the big announcement that Scott Snyder and Joshua Williamson are going to be sort of spearheading um, an all new sort of, I don't want to call it a rebrand of DC, but that's the kind of what it feels. It feels That's what it feels like, right? And I can't think of two better people to do that than Snyder and Williamson. Joshua Williamson has just been, so involved in pretty much every facet of DC over the past few years, right? Whether it's his Superman run, his Batman Robin run, his Robin's book, right? Everything. Like he's been a part of some big events going on, all that. So the fact that those two are sort of taking charge here is no surprise. And I've got a feeling, right, that this is sort of like the modern day, right, the 2024 version of the New 52, right? It was a big deal when DC did it then, right? It was sort of like a rebranding or relaunching of all the DC properties. And then it had its run, and Scott Snyder was a big part of that. A lot of great writers came out of that event. A lot of great stories, some iconic stories came out of that. And then I feel like they've shifted gears like two or three times since then. Like,
Yeah, Rebirth. They had a lot of the Future State stuff was a short
right,
thing.
right. And so, like, here's the thing: like, you don't see Marvel do this shit, right? They don't need to, right? They're a bloody machine, and they just do the damn thing, and they're just gonna do it, right? I feel like
Mhm.
DC, that's how DC should be as well, right? They shouldn't have, and maybe this is being dictated by sales. Maybe this is like, nope, this is just like, okay, we just want to go in a new direction. We want to, get, who knows, like what the real sort of um, process was behind this, but like that's a little like I don't know. Infuriating is not the right word, but like, why can't you just like, okay, like just do what Marvel does, right? Like Zdarsky has his run on Daredevil. You don't need to reboot the whole thing again. You just boom, you've got your new
You know,
writer come in and
the
do
the
your
co-
thing.
the comp to Marvel is, I mean, obviously they've had like the Ultimates and they're bringing some stuff back from that universe and everything. So they've done some stuff over the years, but I do think that's a pretty fair comparison looking at what they've done more recently. Obviously Marvel still has
Uh,
plenty of events,
Hold on a
but
sec. You keep talking. Hold
but
on a second.
they have their own titles in that continue to go forward and whatnot. So it's like I think you raise a good point on that front. That said, I am excited about it because Scott Snyder's in the mix, Jason Aaron, Kelly Thompson, Hayden Sherman is with Kelly Thompson on that Wonder Woman book. I know we saw is it Dan Waters, who's doing Nightwing, who's gonna be taking over Nightwing.
Right,
Detective
Tom
Comics.
Taylor's taking over Detective Comics. Like I'm not doing this rant because I'm not excited about All In. Like, pun intended, I'm all in on All In, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
No, but you raise the comp that you're making to Marvel, I think makes a lot of sense. I think it's a really good
right.
point. You
And
you
what
won me
also
over on
drives
that one, Joe. So maybe you say you changed my mind.
well, there we go, right? Right. But what also infuriates the shit out of it, you know how I feel about events, right? And for people to really hear me, I have to stand on like five soapboxes, because like I stand on one, people still aren't going to see you hear me. But like, you know how I feel about events. And so like Absolute Power, it gets announced. Okay, this sounds really promising. Read the first issue. Okay, great. It's definitely infiltrated some of my other books that I like to read, which I hate that events do. Like, to me, you know how I feel. Event should
Oh
be an
yeah.
event. Don't bleed it into the other fucking titles. You just have that be the primary thing. And if you want to have offshoots of that, have
Mm-hmm.
offshoots of that that's related to that. Leave the other fucking books alone because they're already balls deep into their storytelling. Right now, you just disrupt the flow by sort of shoehorning it into this to an event.
Mm-hmm.
But now, why do I give a shit about about Absolute Power when everything in a few months is just going to go kablooey and change and go in a completely different direction? Now, maybe this is a setup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to lead into that. Well, fucking pick a lane, right? Like, have an event and just keep things going, and why you have to like take everything in a different direction, or just say like, don't even like, I don't know. Like, I have no incentive to continue reading Absolute Power because I was sort of like, okay, it's good, it's fine. I would have like maybe, let's put it this way. I'm gonna wait until it's all collected, right, at this point. And I'll probably just read it as I'm gonna trade wait, which we say
Well,
like to
yeah,
avoid, but like,
I don't mind it as much with Marvel and DC. Like it's a little different.
but
There's
I'm
no
just
two
like,
ways about it.
okay, I'm more excited about what's coming than what's current at this point. Like Nightwing's
Mhm.
wrapping up. I am very, I mean, I
Right.
get now why that is and all that stuff, but like, I don't know, maybe I'm just being a cranky old ass man, but like, I have like, for me, and especially with all the titles like that's a part of Absolute Power, like, eh, I'm just kind of pissed now that it's infiltrating the other stories that I'm reading. Um, because I want to have a nice, clean conclusion to those, so I can start this new era fresh.
Mm. I
And I just
will.
find it maddening.
I will admit when you told me like you're gonna have a rant for this, I was like, oh boy, here we go. Like Joe's gonna complain about DC and like their new move again. But you raise good points. Like I understand. Like so when you say the cranky old man bit, like you raised good points. You honestly did. You won me over when I expected to be like, okay, Joe, like you're fine. Like it's like the all in's gonna be fun and we're gonna be fine, or you're
Yeah,
not gonna
all
read
it's
it.
going to be great.
But
It's going to be
but
exciting.
but you raised good points. I want
Yeah,
you to know that.
thank you.
You're
Mark it
welcome.
11:37. Nick was wrong. I was right.
This is true. I was wrong. I was wrong that you were. This is true. All right. So we have the August solicit. We are doing it much earlier than we normally do, or a little bit earlier than we normally do, because obviously we have the event coming up. Being the event that we're doing right now, Christmas in July. Speaking of complaining about events, I think ours has been a little more worthwhile. But anyways, we are still covering what's new this week. This is the only time we're doing what's new throughout the month. Joe, we always start things off with Marvel. So why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, it's a weirdly light week for Marvel.
I mean,
Maybe they too are getting ready for all in. But this is what's new for the week of July 24th, 2024. From Marvel, we have Ultimate Black Panther. We have Darth Vader, issue 48. Vengeance of the Moon Knight, issue 7. Side note, Violet and I have been collecting like the Lego minifigures, the
mhm.
Marvel ones. You can't find them anywhere, so I can get them on Amazon. And I've got back to back. They have two different Moon Knights,
Ooh.
and we got them both like back to back.
Oh, nice. Was
Awesome. They
was
look.
one all white and then one like white and black?
No, one is him in this like in a suit like
Oh,
what's
Mr. Knight. Okay.
Mr. Knight. Yep, and the other is just a regular Moon Knight.
Okay, cool.
Your classic Moon Knight character, but
Nice.
they are pretty dope. We have Deadpool, Wolverine, World War III, issue 3, NYX issue
Nix.
1,
Nix.
Nix. I'm not calling it Nix. NYX issue 1.
Stevie
I'm,
Nicks. I
yeah,
casually walked by a Stevie Nicks concert, by the way, when I was in England.
oh yeah, was she just like dancing like with her shoes off and
Ye-
just like
I mean, I didn't see
jamming
her.
around?
She was. I was in Hyde Park, and then I found out later that she was performing, and then Harry Styles joined her too. It's just
Oh
added.
well, see that's sick. You should have
I had no
let
clue. He was like a surprise appearance.
yeah.
I didn't even
Yeah,
listen.
those are it's
Yeah.
two icons right there.
Mm-hmm.
Captain America issue 11, Wolverine.
Blood Hunt.
It's Blood Hunt. Yeah, thank Jesus Christ. Blood. I abbreviated everything, and now I'm going
It's your
senile.
own damn fault.
You're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to, recuse myself from the podcast, and you have to replace me with someone.
Violet.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll have
right.
her read Wolverine Blood Hunt.
She'd love it. Strange Academy, Blood Hunt, issue 3. Venom, Separation Anxiety. That's what I had when you went away, Nicholas. Issue 3. Venomverse, Venomverse Reborn, issue 2. I've forgotten how to read this month. Annihilation, 2099, issue 4. And Marvel Zero, issue 1.
For DC, we got Detective Comics 1087, Green Arrow, issue 14, The Flash, issue 11, Harley Quinn, issue 42, Zatanna, Bring Down the House, excuse me, issue 2.
Bringing down the house.
Batman, The Brave and the Bold, issue 15. Absolute Power? Is that? Yeah, Absolute Power. Task Force 7, issue 2. Again, trying to decipher Joe's abbreviations. Power Girl issue 11. It's the event that, in my mind, the event just started. I know it's been going on for a bit, but I've been like in parts unknown, trying not to pay attention to Twitter. Power Girl issue 11, Batman Dark Age issue 4, Absolute Power Origins issue 1, Batman Wayne Family Adventures chapter what? Wayne
Yeah.
Fam-
Chapter 122. And get ready. You're gonna see that you're gonna see it every fucking week for the rest of the Solicit. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was weird too. It's not a typo. Trust me.
All right.
Trust.
Catwoman, The Legacy Cowl issue 1. And I know you have a first issue that you want to talk about, but one book that we're away from that I wanted to ask you about. Did you read Dark Knights of Steel All Winter?
Yes.
Okay, fucking awesome. So good. Okay.
Yes.
Because if you
that's your boy. That's your boy.
Yep, Jay Kristoff.
If you want to call dibs,
you already no, that's stupid when you've already read it too. That doesn't make any sense. If you had not read it, I would have called dibs. That's what I was going to ask. But yeah, no, I read it when I got back because reading DC stuff's a little bit harder when I was away. It's fucking awesome. Jay Kristoff's so good, man. Readers are in for a real treat. But anyways, then we have a first issue, Joe, that I'm very curious to hear how you felt about this one.
Yeah, so this is the Nice House by the Sea issue 1, not Manchester by the Sea, but Nice House by the Sea issue 1. This is the sequel to the Nice House on the Lake. So I was very, very curious how Tynion was going to handle this. I remember like halfway through Nice House on the Lake, Tynion. This was like right as Tynion was announcing Tiny Onion, his move to Substack, and really like he was a big name prior to that, but like it was at that point where he was like he's in a whole new street. He's in Scott Snyder, stratosphere now, right? Like, and I was real grumps because that book was cooking, and then it went like on a 6-month hiatus. But then that's the type of book where it's like I feel like it could suffer from that bit of a break because it's an investment. Each issue is an investment, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a good binge, so I think you're not far off.
It's a great binge book, right? And because like once you're in, and so any type of layoff, it's like, anyways. So I was very curious how he was going to do this. Now, I read it was an excellent first issue, and it does obviously tie in to the Nice House on the Lake, but like not in a very unique way, right? So it's very like it's done the same style, the same way as Nice House on the Lake was, but we have a different cast of characters. We're obviously in a different house, it's a different setting, and the way that I read the letters at the end of the issue, and sort of Tynion was talking about sort of like what his plans are for this, this universe, so to speak. And it's like all these events are sort of like similarly happening at a similar time, right? And so like each issue, or each title, I should say, is sort of like, okay, same world, same time frame, different house, maybe a few months later, right? Maybe it's happening concurrently at the same time as so it's like it's all sort of happening at once, but like Nice House on the Lake was, consider that chapter 1, right? Nice House by the Sea, consider that like chapter 2. And I just very, very, now I'm really curious to see how it all comes together, right? Because we're dealing with the end of the world here. And like with Nice House on the Lake, the main guy who's an alien who sort of he chose the people to live in this house to sort of live out existence. He chose them in a way which was breaking his sort of prime directive, if you will, right? And so he picked people who were very personal to him, that he loved, that had a very close connection with. The person that's responsible for collecting the people in this chapter here, Nice House by the Sea, is very by the rules. It is the best people in their fields across various different fields, and they don't like each other. They don't get along. Nobody knows each other, so it's a much different dynamic. And then the way Tynion is able to sort of intertwine Nice House on the Lake with Nice House on the Sea by the end of the issue was excellent. So if you love Nice House on the Lake, you're definitely going to love this. The art is beautiful. The storytelling is fantastic. It's just excellent.
Do you? So I didn't read it because this is Tynan and this is the same story. I have read,
Read it.
obviously. Okay.
This is going to be a hard thing to, again, like, we're now in it's like the second volume of the same story, right? So, like, if you've already read Nice House on the Lake, Nicholas, don't hold back. Read this. This is not like something I can like call dibs on, because I'd be
Makes
calling
sense.
dibs on like volume 2 of a book we've already read, kind of.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to make sure before I did anything. Okay, cool. That makes sense. But it sounds great too. Awesome. Like that. I'm very excited to check this out. And it's cool to see like Nice House on the Lake. Yeah, on the lake. I'm getting confused now with on by whatever. Anyways, Nice House on the Lake. Like it felt like it was a thing. Like, yes, obviously it's this big thing, but it can just be kind of kept to this one title. But obviously it was successful and everything, so you're going to continue to do more. And of course, Tynan had plans for more beforehand. Anyways, Great stuff. Awesome. What do we got from Image?
Image, big week from Image. Like,
Massive.
Remember we were talking about like, Image has been kind of slow lately. Well, they've been saving up for August and July and August, because holy shnikes.
Some might call this week super massive.
Oh, yes. From Image, we have Rook Exodus issue 4, King Spawn issue 36, which we saw tweeted out the other day, a script for a movie. And if Sean Lewis doesn't get fucking credit for this, I'm gonna be fucking pissed. And I know he might be a little cranky, because he just had a tweet out. It was very sort of cryptic, and it was like, I know what I did, or something like that, right? Like,
he wrote a tweet saying who wrote that book too. So like, he was a little more specific afterwards. So
yeah, right. But like, okay, like that's his baby, right? Give that man his fucking due.
I agree. Like, it's when I saw that, I was like, oh great, it's cool. That's cool. Like, definitely should be, makes sense, awesome, all this stuff. But then it was like, is Sean
I don't see Sean Lewis's name anywhere on that script.
And his reaction makes me think even more so that he's not involved. So it's just it's really unfortunate.
Okay. I'm gonna stop myself before I say anything else. We have Monstrous issue 53, the Bird Book, The Sacrificers issue 10.
Which you have to read that. That was like a part of a punishment for you.
I get there. You never gave me a time frame, so I'll get there.
End of year. I'll make it loose, but firm. Yep.
We'll see.
There you go. You got 6 months.
6 months.
5, whatever.
We have Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, issue 4, the finale. That was an excellent series. We have the Six Fingers, issue 5. This brings that story to its ultimate and epic conclusion.
Ooh.
I will be talking about the One Hand and the Six Fingers as a whole on TLDR in an upcoming mainline issue, if we ever get there again.
Next one's 100. Whenever we do it.
Next one's 100.
It should be next month.
But I got one in mind for that. But anyways,
yeah.
That was excellent. And then Dan Waters, right? Dan Waters has just become an absolute rising star, bullet to the top here, and much deservedly so, because his writing is excellent. We have Local Man issue 12. Nicholas, you have not read this yet. I'll keep it real brief, so because I don't spoil shit. Excellent, man. Like the last 2 issues. Especially this one, and the way it unfolds and the way it ends, blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. Crackers, Ritz. It was Ritz, baby. It was crackers. Just made that. I would make that a thing.
Wow,
shit, Ritz. That was Ritz.
I can get behind that.
Yeah, right.
I can get behind that.
Little peanut butter, little Ritz cracker.
Yeah. See if we get a sponsorship out of it. There you go.
Yeah. Although I can't eat that anymore. A thin doc over here now.
Yeah, I'm not. Isn't that that's like got bread? It's bread, right? So it's like
yeah. You can't eat that. Can't eat that shit.
Not my best friend either. So
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. One of us doesn't have a flatulence problem though.
You sure about that?
Something epic. Speaking of flatulence problems,
somebody's going to be listening and wonder if that was you actually ripping one. I just want the record to show that was not. That was Joe making the sound from his mouth.
Spawn Kills Every Spawn, issue 1. Super massive, as you alluded to earlier, Nicholas. 2024. This was excellent. Absolutely excellent. And we want to say a big shout out to Kyle Higgins and Black Market Narrative for sending us the
Advanced
what was
copy.
the
Yeah.
advanced copy, but also they very kindly sent us
Oh yeah.
the
The
trade with the first issues
Across the
of.
Massiverse.
Yes, thank
Yes,
you.
which we have talked about both of those that have, as much as we were away for some of the stuff and whatever, we got early looks and everything, so we wanted to make sure we put that out there
Yeah,
while we weren't doing what's new and everything throughout the weeks while we were doing our event. So that is available over on our YouTube page, and it's also available on our Instagram. So make sure you're following
yeah.
us there for those.
So very kind. That was awesome. That was a pleasant surprise. Blood Squared 7 issue 3, Self Help issue 2, Lego Ninjago Shatterspin issue 1, Void Rivals issue 11, and then Nicholas, where do you want to start? Actually, no. Let's start with Farrell because no one needs time.
Yes, it does need some time. So with Feral, this is so we said earlier, I had mentioned we have one more Fireside chat as part of our Christmas in July event, and I was going to make good on who that last pairing is that we're talking to. So we've talked to Tony Fleece before, where we did it again, and we talked to Trish Forstner as well. Of course, Tone Rodriguez on this as well, but he was not part of the conversation. But we got an early look at Feral issue 5 to have that conversation with them because we wanted to talk some spoilers. So our conversation with them is dropping the week after the final issue of Feral. So again, the final Monday in July, and we get into some spoilers there. I'll have a note when the spoilers are, and we learn some stuff about what's coming up later on in the second arc as well. Definitely kept it spoiler free in that regard, but give us like a good idea of what to expect. There's one issue in particular that they have like a really cool idea that they're doing. Very excited about. I don't want to say more than that. You guys will hear more about it in that conversation, but we're going to save that for now. As for this week's issue of Feral, I'll tell you what, Joe. So we got this early look. I am still anxious about one particular major development that happened at the end of that issue. Like we had that conversation, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. Obviously, the episode hasn't dropped yet, but it's like there's something that happens very late in the issue, and it's still very much on my mind, and
Yeah,
it's killing me.
yeah. There's a few things that happen in this issue that I was not happy about. Now there's a development that we learned that will happen, in future issues, like you mentioned, that I was hoping would apply, but it just they're killing. I almost spoiled
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Jesus, wow. Oh, wow. You're that rusty, apparently. My goodness.
Well, I was gonna make a reference. Did you ever see the Dewey Cox movie? Right?
I
Where
really only
they're
remember the
sort of
beginning.
they're spoofing like the Johnny Cash movie,
Yeah, I really remember the
and
beginning when the kids like
yeah,
at the beginning.
what do they carry? Who is SNL alum? He was the ladies' man. What's
I
the
have
actor's
no
name?
clue, Joe. You're on your own on this one, man.
Damn it! Well, he just kept, the character kept saying the wrong brother died, right?
Oh,
Right. And, and I was gonna make, but anyways,
yeah,
because we joke a lot in the chat with them that I was thinking of Tim Meadows, but it wasn't Tim Meadows' character. Sorry, we were joking a lot in the chat that I wanted to send them a picture of my cat so they can kill him in the book, and then I
yeah,
was gonna say, they killed the wrong cat,
yeah.
died, kind of thing. But
It sounds like that we actually I'll give like a little bit more from that conversation. We brought that up. It sounds like you're the only person that's asking to have their cat killed in the story. So
I
that
love
is
my cat, but Miko can be an asshole sometimes. He could be a real son of a gun. But getting back to Farrell, this is, I mean, if you've been reading this series, you're gonna absolutely love this issue. Tony and Trish don't hold back, and they're really, they're really at the top of their game here, and the storytelling is excellent. The what unfolds, it's gutting. It's a kind of a gutting issue.
yes.
And I don't just mean like in a violent, visceral way, but like, what the, oh, come on,
No,
right?
it's
So,
yeah, it's heavy. I mean, and it's also I think this was the most fast-paced issue that we've gotten
yeah,
so far. And obviously this is a zombie book, so I mean, sure, zombie books can move slow at times, but this has been moving pretty fast throughout because also we're dealing with rabies, so it's a little bit of a different element there. Tells you more about what the type of zombies you're dealing with, but it moves at a very quick pace, and so much so like I'm ready for that next arc. Like as we like it comes to an end where it's like, okay, this is a good end and everything, but it's like I need more. So thankfully we're not going to have a long pause because it's going to continue this fall. But some awesome stuff from Trish and Tony in the chat as well. So can't wait for everybody to hear more of that. And honestly, can't wait to listen back myself.
Yeah, and just the way it ends. It's two books that Tony Fleece is a part of this week that just have absolutely tremendous endings.
And there's also Uncanny Valley that he has that's out this week too. It's just Tony's,
jeez, yes, and that's another one, right? So Tony is fucking killing it. So
yeah,
Tony, love you, man. You're doing yeoman's work by writing fucking kick-ass books. But before we get to anything more, Nicholas, we have maybe, just maybe, and I'll say it slightly, the book of the week.
Yep, 100%. No One, issue 10, the final issue of this story. Kyle Higgins, Brian Buccellato, and Geraldo Borges. Been loving this series. I said at the end of issue 9, and I told you after our that episode of the show that I had an idea of what might be going on with No One. To which Brian Buccellato proceeded to tell me, "Your hunch is going to be wrong." He was right. My hunch was absolutely wrong, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Obviously, you guys don't know what my hunch is. If we ever have a conversation with Kyle or Brian about it, then we can get into that a little bit. But I don't want to like spoil things for anybody. Great ending. For me, it was just we got like it's a fitting ending, and we get jerked around in so many different ways. Like you just think going one way, going another, going one way, going another, and it's just I can't wait to add this trade to my collection. And again, like listening to the podcast throughout this whole series has been really like fulfilling, and I just can't wait for that last episode of that as well.
Yeah, you're right. So much so that I'm going to reread and re-listen.
Ooh, nice.
And so like. Because there have been a few breaks, and so now what I'm looking forward to is on the reread is knowing how it all ends, right? Is looking and listening for the breadcrumbs throughout, right? And being able to like just like bang it all out, right? Together, like it's going to be fantastic. So like what Kyle, and the gang have done with this particular book, not just you could have taken the podcast out of it and just had an A+ book, but adding that extra thing to it, like just really does like bam, Emerald kicks it up a notch.
Yeah.
It's unique storytelling all the way through, and they did a great job at really landing the plane on this one.
Yeah, I hate to see it go, but the ride was fucking awesome, man. Can't wait to add this trade to my collection for sure. And I will probably go listen. I'm definitely going to reread it at some point, but I'll have to re-listen to the podcast if you're doing that too. As for the moving forward, we got AWA UNI issue 6 is out this week. From Boom, we got Something is Killing the Children, issue 39. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, issue 122. Berserker, A Face Full of Bullets, issue 1. The aforementioned Uncanny Valley, issue 4. Blowaway, issue 4. Underheist, issue 5. Orcs, The Gift, issue 4. Fence Challengers, Long Shot, issue 1. And then Hello Darkness, issue 1, which is the anthology that we heard about at C2E2, I think was when Boom announced it. Did you get a chance to look at this one already? Because I know you tried to call dibs on it. I didn't know if you read it already or any of it.
No, I haven't. I didn't get a chance to read it yet. And speaking of Underheist, that's a book I always get confused with Under York.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
And I love Underheist, so I'm like, oh shit, I got to go back, and so I didn't read it because age-addled brain got mixed up.
Well, Hello Darkness is something that neither of us got a chance to take a look at, but this one would have been like we would have read like the first issue and then the first chapter or whatever, let you know, because this is an anthology. This has stuff from Tynan in it. It has stuff from Garth Ennis in it. I think Becky Cloonan, and I'm not sure after that, but those are some pretty significant names. So it's definitely worth checking out. I'll be picking up this for sure. And I think it's going to be an ongoing anthology. I don't know if these stories will be ongoing, but at least the title itself. So that'll be cool, like a little horror anthology going on over at Boom. What about from Dark Horse?
So from Dark Horse, or Dark Horse, as my voice cracks, we have Nemesis Rogues Gallery issue 1. This is, I believe, the first Millar book with with Dark Horse. So I
Mhm.
didn't get a chance. It was a effing ton to read this
This is
week.
a huge, like, not just massive for Image this week, massive across the board.
Yeah. So we had Nemesis Rogues Gallery 1, which we're gonna have to go read. Masters of the Universe Revolution issue 3. Minor Threats, The Fastest Way Down, issue 4. Resident Alien, The Book of Life, issue 2. The Writer, issue 2, and Joy Operation 2, issue 2.
From Mad Cave, we got Dick Tracy issue 3, and then we got When the Blood Has Dried issue 4, which you have been reading this throughout. But I'm gonna go first here, Joe, because I got Flash Gordon issue 1. I know you want to check this one out at some point. I'm not calling dibs. I did get a chance to read this. Jeremy Adams and then Will Conrad are the creative team on this one. This is so Flash Gordon is honestly, like, I knew about Flash Gordon before Ted, but honestly, I know Flash Gordon through Ted primarily. That is pretty much it. And yes, I am talking about the Mark Wahlberg, Seth MacFarlane movie. So I have very, very little experience with the character. This is very, very accessible for people like me. 100%. It feels like Flash is getting a new, like, he needs to get like a new lay of the land for a couple issues. Like, obviously I only got a chance to look at the first one so far, but if like there's going to be more of that after what I've read in this issue. It feels like some time has passed and some things have changed and whatnot, but they kind of talk about that a little bit, but more it's like spending time with the character and figuring out what the hell is going on in his situation. So I think that's going to be really helpful for readers like me who are familiar with the character but really don't know shit about him. And at the same time, like, I think because there have been some significant changes. I don't know how familiar you are with the character, Joe, but for anyone who is, like, I think you're still going to be getting plenty of new stuff because why would you get retread?
Right. I've got zero knowledge of Flash Gordon. I did read this before we came on today, and I enjoyed it. It's a great sci-fi book, right? And so I think Mad Cave, if you mentioned Dick Tracy issue 3 comes out this week or came out this week, depending on when you're listening to this. And so I like the idea that they're sort of taking these older properties, right, these sort of Silver Age properties, and sort of slapping a fresh coat of paint on them
Yeah.
and reintroducing them to the masses. Now, I think the show, I think, was like late 70s, right? Early 80s, something like that. So people even older than I are probably more familiar with Flash Gordon. But this was a fun issue. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, some good action, nice twist at the end. And in this issue too, they lay out like their whole plan for
Yeah.
Flash Gordon over the next, I don't know if it was the rest of the year, but you guys will see that when you get there. So if you really enjoyed it, there's definitely going to be more Flash Gordon. I think we already kind of knew that, but it's nice how Mad Cave kind of lays it out at the end of the issue. But then, Joe, you have When the Blood Has Dried issue 4. What did you think about this issue?
Yeah, love you. Our good pal Gary Maloney, who writes When the Blood Has Dried, is in the chat, or at least was in the chat.
Yeah,
Not
he
too long
said something.
ago.
I noticed it a little late when he said something. I think it was about we're talking
Hey,
about
I'm
Abbey
a
Road.
walk in.
There you go.
So I absolutely love this series. I've done a few videos on it, thrown it on TikTok and Instagram, YouTube, all that. And I've always been a fan of fantasy, right? One of my favorite books of all time is, right, Lord of the Rings, right? Just like everyone else. But I think I mentioned this when I talked about the first issue, was that it rekindled a love of fantasy books for me. And I talked about reading like those old, sort of mass market paperback fantasy books, right? Reading them in middle school and in high school and stuff like that. And just like, there's thousands of them out there, and there's a lot of shit, but there's a lot of great ones. There's a lot of campy ones, and there's some iconic classics out there. And so this sort of like rekindled my love for fantasy books. And even so that I went out and I picked up an 800-page fantasy novel by a writer named John Gwynn, books called Malice. Fantastic. But this has been a great little series, and issue 4 drops this week, and the pacing of this series has been excellent, right? Each issue, like, There's no lag. There's no downtime. It just bang, 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 bang goes right into the other. And issue 4, does a great job at picking up where issue 3 sort of left off. And what's cool about it too is it starts off with a little bit of a flashback, then brings you present day, and then ends on an absolute banger. And I before we talked about Mad Cave books, I said hold on one second because I wasn't quite ready because I wanted to pull up the artist named Daniel Romero, who does the line art and the coloring on this book. And it's just excellent. It's like you watch it. I mean, you watch it, you read it, you look at it. It's got that fantasy vibe to it, right? Like if you're a fantasy nut, this is a book you should be reading. The way this issue ends sets up, for an absolute, what I'm going to assume is going to be a bloodthirsty finale.
Nice.
So if you haven't been catching up on this book, I'll definitely let y'all know when the trade comes out. But I would highly recommend when you hit your local comic book shop, see if they've got past issues, get caught up, read it. As I like to say, you're gonna love it.
You're gonna like the way you look. I guarantee it. All right, I'll take us through these 3 here, Joe, before we get to our final publisher for the week. Titan, we got Conan the Barbarian, issue 13. Rivers of London, Stray Cat Blues, issue 3. From Dynamite, we got Army of Darkness Forever, issue 10. Gargoyle's Quest, issue 3. And Vampirella, issue 670. And then from Distillery, we got a book that I called dibs on. Obviously, we don't get review copies yet for Distillery, but The Big Burn, issue 1. Then we got IDW, Joe. You want to take us through that?
Well, I'll tell you something about IDW. We have Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2, issue 4, which I believe is written by Cullen Bunn.
Yes, sir.
We have Star Trek Defiant, issue 17. Godzilla Skate or Die, issue 2. And then if you follow us on the YouTubes, on the TikToks, on the Instagrams, on the socials, you'll know that I came out with breaking news, with an important news announcement. Urgent breaking news. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles issue 1, written by Jason Aaron, is out this week. We got advanced copies of this, and I couldn't wait to fucking brag to all of you that I had it in advance and could tell you how fucking awesome it was. As I said in my review, I don't think there's anyone better to tackle Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles right now than Jason Aaron. He's a tremendous writer, and we in that sort of what was the book that came out a few weeks ago that was sort of like a prelude to this?
It was TMNT Alpha, something like that.
Yeah, thank you. Issue 0, whatever it was. We got a small taste, and the taste that we got in that, the vibe is there. But I had a feeling that what we were going to get was like the full, like fleshed out story of what we got in that alpha. But no, we get just pure awesomeness, Nicholas.
Amazing. Yeah. It's
yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I obviously like you got, I know you had done the whole review and everything, and I saw it while I was away. I was again, like, trying to read their stuff while I was away was a little bit challenging. So I was like, this is got to be the first thing that I read when I get back. And it was, and God, so damn good. Joelle Jones. Like I love her art style too. And this is Raph centric. We knew that they were going to be focusing on individual turtles, like the turtles individually in each of the first 4 issues. So very excited to see. We find out, in this issue, who's going to be the next focus. So excited to see what's coming up. Obviously, we'll get to all 4 of them in some capacity. But the biggest thing for me is this is adult, but at the same time, it's not inaccessible to younger readers. And I think that's perfect for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, obviously, we all talk about The Last Ronin, and as adults, like, this is badass, it's very cool. We're going to get more from that property and like other medias besides comics, so it's very exciting. But at the same time, when you're doing TMNT mainline, you can't just go full blown in, full blown adult. It's not going to work. But this, for like what we got in that alpha issue and then what we got here, it's on the same level of tone. So I'm very excited about it. This is a great intro and table setter, but also it's like a full journey in and of itself. There's still so much more to unfold. And also, I'm not going to say the specific line. I thought about it, but I was like, because it wasn't a spoiler, but I'm not going to say it. But Jason Aaron found a way to summarize Raph in just one line. It's in. I'll tell you guys, it's in the first 10 pages, and it was fucking. I read it, and I was like, that is it. That is Raph right there. Fucking awesome. So good.
Well, so I sort of like, it was like, I would say it's got Last Ronin vibes in the sense of like the tone, right? I would say like this is not your Nickelodeon Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? This is what I feel is going back to the original roots of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles when Eastman and Laird first created it, right? Because it wasn't like a kids thing. It became a kids thing when they sold the rights and to the toy line and then the cartoon and all of that. But like the original tone, the art style of everything of TMNT was right, sort of I think where it is now. Not necessarily a kids thing, but it's not strictly adult either. It's
Yeah,
right
I don't
for
think you.
that.
I don't think you could give this to an 8-year-old, but I think if a 13-year-old read it, you'd be
Yes,
fine. 100%.
yeah, 100%, right? Because it's like I said, it's not a Nickelodeon version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? It's sort
Mhm.
of like that next tier up, right? Like I'd
Yeah,
give this to my nephew and wouldn't think twice about it.
and I read some of the previous run, but I don't think it wasn't that young either. Like you have the TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures for that kind of stuff as well. But this still feels a little bit more elevated from an
Yeah.
age standpoint. So I like we've praised it a ton. We couldn't be more excited about it, and it's getting praise across the board. It's all very much warranted. So all right, that was a long overdue what's new, but also a very long what's new. We got to get moving on this Solicit, Joe. So we got the week of the 7th to start off August. Kick us off with Marvel, please.
Yeah, because July was 10 weeks long.
Yeah.
So from Marvel, we have Ultimate Black Panther issue 7, The Avengers 17, Daredevil issue 12, The Incredible Hulk issue 15, Doctor Strange issue 18, The Spectacular Spider-Man issue 6, Star Wars The High Republic issue 10, Spider-Man Reign 2 issue 2, Wolverine Deep Cut issue 2, Star Wars Inquisitors issue 2, and then the number ones that we have the week of the 7th, we have Uncanny X-Men issue 1, written by Wesley Sykes' favorite writer Gail Simone, with art by David Marquez. I didn't forget about that beef. I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Venom War issue 1, written by Al Ewing, with art by Ivan Coelho. We have Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood issue 1, written by J.M. DeMatteis, with art by Elena Casagrande. Can I say something?
Mm.
I'm getting a little tired of the black, white, and whatever. I mean,
Yeah, I will say
I understand, like it's great. It gives writers like you get all these bunch of small stories. It's getting a little overkill. Everyone has one of these series now.
Okay.
Everyone.
I
Everyone's got
like
one.
the creativity on the suit, the black suit, and the creativity
I
on the
mean,
name.
yeah, it's not a knock on this particular issue.
I
I'm
understand.
just saying in general, it's a little overdone. Every character's got a black, white, and whatever, you know.
Quite a few of them do. This is true.
Yeah.
You're not wrong about that.
Let's beat that horse. Real good. Spidey and His Amazing Friends issue 1. Now this has been dropped, like versions of this have been dropped on Free Comic Book Day the last few years. It looks like it's getting a run, so I'm looking forward to buying this for Swaggins.
Nice.
And then we have Blood Hunters 1, written by Erica Schultz, with art by Robert Gill.
From DC, we got Batman 151, Absolute Power issue 2, Birds of Prey issue 12, Shazam issue 14, The Boy Wonder issue 4, Blue Beetle issue 11, Kneel Before Zod issue 8, My Adventures with Superman issue 3, Batman Scooby. Is it Batman Scooby Doo Mysteries? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. Batman Scooby Doo Mysteries issue 8, Wayne Family Adventures issue 124, which I think the one earlier was 122. So next week is 123. Got it. Okay. Duh. Scooby Doo.
Because you made me get rid of it.
Scooby Doo, where are you? Issue 129. And then Gotham City Sirens issue 1 by Lee Williams and Mateo Lawler. Leah. Okay.
Yeah. Come on.
Did I say Lee?
Yes.
That's all right.
Lee. It's a Tenacious D song.
Okay.
Lee. Talk fucking Lee. Yeah. Anyways. From Image and Skybound. This has been the Karaoke Minute.
Yeah.
Image and Skybound. We have Scarlet issue 3, Gunslinger Spawn issue 34, The Deviant issue 7, The Scorched issue 32, The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 94, Ain't No Grave issue 4,
Hell yeah.
Public Domain issue 7, Moonman issue 4, Kaya issue 20, Misery issue 3, The Infernals issue 5, Free Agents issue 2, Mirka Andolfo, Sweet Paprika, Black, White, and Pink issue 2. Love
Mhm.
Mirka Andolfo, but even Sweet Paprika is getting the black, white, and treatment. And then we have some number ones. We have The Power Fantasy, written by Kieran Gillen with beautiful, gorgeous art by Casper Wingard. We had Kieran on to start our Christmas in July event, so I highly recommend following us on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast. Listen to that chat. It's excellent. It's so good. He mentioned it in back-to-back newsletters, Nicholas.
This is very true. Yes, you'll hear
Yeah.
all about that there. It's an awesome, like, we really enjoyed it. We'll look at that first issue. Obviously kept things spoiler free, but this has been getting a lot of hype and it is warranted.
Yep. Next we have The Cowl 1964 issue 1. This is written by Kyle Higgins with art by Alec Siegel and Rod Reese, I should say. This is part of the Massiverse. This is, Kyle
Retroactive
Higgins,
part
baby.
of the Massiverse. Yes.
Yeah. This is a book that he's always loved, and he's bringing it back. So very excited to check this out. And then we have Cyberforce Shootout issue 1.
Nice. From Boom, we got A Vicious Circle issue 3, which I think this is something I called dibs on a long time ago, Joe.
Yeah, I feel like you did.
It's like a 3-issue miniseries, and we're finally getting that 3rd issue. Now, Lee Bermejo is the artist, and his art is insane. So I could see it taking like extra time, but it's odd how long this has taken. But I think it got picked up or optioned, whatever, for I think it was a movie. So I'm gonna go back and look through this. This has unfortunately been a difficult one to just stay on track with, but I remember really liking the first issue. It was and visually it was awesome. Then we got Rangers Academy issue 9, Garfield issue 1, and then, Joe, we got that early look that I had mentioned previously, Red Before Black issue 1, Stephanie Phillips, Goran Suzuka. We lucked out. You took care of this while I was away. We got a little help from Boom over on Instagram. It hooked us up with an early look at this. So of course this is coming out in the first new comic book day of the month. We got our main character is a woman named Val. She's ex-military. She's got no time for anybody's BS. She's fresh out of prison and trying to get in on some street level crime with an old friend. And then from there, like that's like setting the table. And then from there, shit goes like sideways in a few different ways. Very much has us on our toes by the end of the issue. So I really enjoyed it. Like have like you have an understanding of what's at stake and what's going on by the end of the issue. But it's like this could go like we got jerked around so many different ways in the first issue. It's like I have no clue. Like no clue how this character is going to handle everything that's been put in front of her.
Yeah, sounds excellent. And Nicholas, I want you to know, I want you to be appreciative.
Oh wow!
Because man, I was like, as soon as I saw the message ping, and I was like, I was very very thankful because we do get review copies from Boom, but we usually don't get like the advanced ones.
Not early looks like that. No.
And I was thank your lucky fucking stars, Nicholas, that I had the wherewithal to say, hey, did you call dibs on this? Because I was like that close to fucking reading it, man.
I'm thankful that your Swiss cheese brain actually closed up one of those holes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
I was going to read it, and I was going to put out another urgent news announcement. But now it has to wait because you're selfish and took your sweet time reading it. So yeah.
Well, sure. Okay, we can put it that way. Anyways, moving on. We got Dark Horse to get through, Joe. What do you got for me there?
We have Swartha. No, we have Star Wars: The High Republic
I
Adventures issue
I
8.
read that way a lot when I first look at it. Usually, like in my head, I'm like Swartha. Wait, oh no, God damn it.
Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures issue 8. Cyberpunk 2077 Kickdown issue 2. Grendel Devil's Crucible Defiance issue 2. Tighten that title up, please. Kanto, a Place Like Home. I want to read that as a No Place Like Home, but Kanto, A Place Like Home, issue 3. Beyond the Pale, issue 3. I've been enjoying that series very much. We have Lester, Lester of the Lesser God, issue 3. And then the number ones from Dark Horse this week. Prodigy, Slaves of Mars, issue 1. Mark Millar with art by Stefano Landini. We have Arkham Horror, The Horror at the End of Time, issue 1. This is Cullen Bunt and Andrea Moody. Those two right there, one of us needs to call dibs on one and the other take dibs on the other one, because those both look fantastic. And then we have Guilt Fram, or maybe Guilt Farm. I'm dyslexic. Issue 1. This is written by Maggie Kint and art by Matt Kint. So that one looks interesting as well. But man, like, I'll take Arkham Horror if you want to take Slaves of Mars. But if you feel one way or the other, we can
Okay,
discuss that.
we can sort that out for sure. That is one hell of a week though. That's for damn sure.
Dark Horse bringing it.
Yeah, they have been for a good while. They're always having like a couple that's just like we both need to be paying attention to at all times. From IDW, we got Godzilla, Here There Be Dragons, Volume 2, Sons of Giants, Issue 2. We got that's a pretty long one. Monster. Then we got for a couple first issues, Monster High, the new Screamester, Issue 1, and My Little Pony, Best of Cutie Crusaders, Issue 1. You finally got what you asked for, Mac. Happy for you.
He is a brony. We found out that Tony Fleece is a brony, right? We know that he's written and drawn My Little Pony stuff, but yeah, you might see him at a My Little Pony convention. So that just, I don't know, that tickled me. Just the thought of him as a brony just cracks me up. From Mad Cave Studios, we have Gotcha Man issue 2 that is also written by Cullen Bunn. And we have Love Me issue 4. And then we have a number 1 from them that week, Kosher Mafia issue 1, written by David Hazon with art by Sammy Cavella.
You actually cut out a little bit there, so I'm just going to repeat it for everybody. Kosher Mafia issue 1 by David Hazan and Sammy Cavella. I don't know what happened there.
You ever upstage me like that again, I'm going to shove my foot up your ass.
Get internet that works, bro. I mean, I don't know. You want me to tell you? That's that's.
I can't pay the bills. My podcasting partner takes off, and I don't have can't make money.
That's what. There you go. All right. From Vault, we got Barbaric, Born in Blood, issue 3. From CEX, we got 7 Years in Darkness, year 2, issue 2. Titan, we got Gun Honey, Collision Course, issue 4. Rivers of London, Stray Cat Blues, issue 4. From Dynamite, we got Space Ghost, issue 4. Chitara, issue 2. Lilo and Stitch, issue 5. Cruella de Vil, issue 5. Darkwing Duck, Justice Ducks, issue 5. And Vampirella, Dark Reflections, issue 3, which brings us to the week of the 14th, Joe.
We will get a Negaduck in here, just an FYI. So August 14th, we have from Marvel Comics, Amazing Spider-Man issue 55, The Ultimates issue 3, Venom issue 36, X-Men issue 2, Fantastic Four issue 23, Immortal Thor issue 14, Darth Vader issue 49, Vengeance of the Moon Knight issue 8, Sensational She-Hulk issue 10, Spider-Boy issue 10, Helverine issue 4, and then a plethora. Helverine's so good. A plethora of number ones. We have Venom War, Spider-Man issue 1. This is written by Jackson Lansing with art by Colin Kelly. We have Spider Society issue 1, written by Alex Segura with art by Scott Godlewski. We have Werewolf by Night issue 1, written by Jason Liu with art by Sergio Fernandez de Villa. And Ultraman Avengers issue 1, written by Kyle Higgins with art by Matt Groom. Higgins wrote Ultraman for Marvel a few years ago, which was an excellent. I wasn't very familiar with Ultraman. That was an excellent series. So this should be good. But there's a number one that if you subscribe to our audio channels and listened to the Kill Your Darlings chat, you would have gotten a little hint about this number one coming out.
Yeah, X Factor issue 1. The artist on this series is Bob Quinn, friend of the show, and also written by friend of the show, Mark Russell, which we found out we weren't aware. We had not read it before, but they actually worked together previously at Dynamite for a Lone Ranger series, which I know, Joe, you're going to try and make a point of checking that one out. But we discussed this with Bob a little bit. It's very obviously very. I mean, that's a great pairing right there. Bob's doing kick-ass stuff. He's always done kick-ass stuff, and then Mark. I mean, he's one of he's been a good writer for a while, but he's really like blossoming, and I think he's obviously an Eisner Award winner and everything now. So it's just I'm very excited to see this from the players involved in this that we know of, because I know there's like a and more in the synopsis, but we got Angel, Havoc, Frenzy, Feral, and Pyro. Biggest ones for me there being Angel and Havoc, and I'm actually a little excited for Pyro too, because Deadpool and Wolverine, we're getting to see him pop back up there, so could be some fun stuff. Anyways, I don't know if you had any thoughts on it. Sorry.
No, I was going to say I was going to lead you into DC Comics because you were talking so much. I was trying to give you a breather.
Oh, thank you so much. All right. Anyways, turn into
you always make it weird.
Action Comics 1068 to kick off DC. Green Lantern issue 14. You and your fucking abbreviations. I'm gonna throw
figure it out.
Goddamn
figure it out.
I'm trying. Batman and Robin issue 12. It's like we've done this. We haven't done this in so long. You gotta like take it easy on yourself with how much you're typing. I understand. Batman Off-World issue 5.
Bad fingers.
Gotham.
I've lost all the weight except for my fingers.
Dude, I need to tell everybody this right now. Joe we're messaging on Twitter because I'm always worried about texting people like when I'm away, because I don't know if you're gonna get charged. And he's asking, just checking in or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, I hope everything's well with you back home too. And you're like, you type it isn't. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then you quickly write, star is. And I'm like, God damn it. Like I didn't have enough time to reply, thank God. But I was like, what the fuck? Like, I'm on vacation and you're like something, this better be fucking serious. What's going on? And it's just stupid thumbs. My God. Anyways, back to DC for the week of the 14th. Gotham by Gaslight, The Kryptonian Age, issue 3. Absolute Power, Task Force 7, issue 4. Death in the Family, Robin Lives, issue 2. Outsiders, issue 10. Gotham City Sirens, issue 2. Wayne Family Adventures, issue 125. Primer, Clashing Colors, issue 2. And then DC versus Vampires, World War V, issue 1. Matt Rosenberg, Otto Schmidt. I will be, World War, you think it's World War 5?
Yeah, I would assume so, right?
What?
Roman numeral 5, maybe?
No, it's World War V, probably, because vampires.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't
mind me.
Yeah, I will be checking this one out for sure, though, because I did enjoy DC versus Vampires. Talked about it on the show here as well. Moving on, Image Skybound.
We have Transformers issue 11, Geiger issue 5, Falling in Love on the Path to Hell issue 3. Did you read issue 2?
Nope. I didn't read it. I didn't read as much as I was. Actually, no, I read a lot more trade stuff while I was away. I had a lot of stuff, not as much single issue.
Well, hopefully you were stuffing your face with croissants and gelato and
Oh yeah,
bolognese. Not to give away where you were or anything. Napalm Lullaby issue 6, The Domain issue 2. The Domain issue 1 was excellent. Precious Metal issue 3. Rifters issue 3, and then we have Violator Origin 1, written by Mark Andrecco, and with art by Peter Kowalski, who we know from his work with Bartosz Sztyber on The Witcher.
Yep. And then it says right. Okay. Yep. I was getting mixed up with Kyle Starks and.
Wait, maybe it was the.
Did he do Where Monsters Lie?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was.
I got mixed up. Yeah. There's another Peter.
Yeah. Then we got Boom, Crocodile Black issue 4, which I know you've been raving about that series, Joe. And then we got Profane issue 3. And then we got a first issue from Boom also this week, SIR, Sir, but it is abbreviated, or is an acronym, I should say. This is by Fellhound. This has been getting a lot of buzz on Twitter, so I just wanted to put this on everybody's radar. And it's like in the Solicit I saw that the story brings over-the-top sports and battle anime energy to Boom Box, which is usually for the younger readers, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But it is anime style art, and then it's like it's motorcycle jousting. So if that interests you, like I don't know if I'm going to check it out, but it's like motorcycle jousting.
We dropped the ball too. Huge news from Boom, right? They were acquired by Penguin, right?
Yeah, that's just I don't know what to think about it. Like that's my whole thing in it. Like it's I mean that was a big thing that happened, but now we got what do you call? We got Fan Expo. We got San Diego Comic-Con coming, so like there's so much stuff I don't know. Like I don't know what to think.
And they're all in on Berserker. What are we missing on Berserker? I think we might be the only ones who don't like it.
I don't
know.
I don't know, because it's like the stuff, there was good stuff in there, and it was an interesting concept, but it just felt like there was a lot of tire spinning.
Was brutal.
Yeah, I don't know. So maybe I've thought a couple times about going back and reading it, but I just haven't done it.
My heels are dug in. I can't. I'm fucking pot committed on that one.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So,
anyway, there you
anyway.
go. All right, now we know. But what do we got from Dark Horse?
From Dark Horse, we have Kill All Immortals, issue 3. This, again, just a beautifully violent, awesome story. Into the Unbeing, issue 3, which is another Dark Horse killing it, man. Into the Unbeing, issue 3, fantastic. Vox Machina Origins, issue 3. Barfly, issue 2, which is part of the Minor Threats universe. And Heartpiercer, issue 4, which you've been reading. And then we have a number 1 from Dark Horse, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Land of the Giants, issue 1, written by Paul Tobin, with art by Luisa Russo. So this sounds cute and bubbly. I've got a feeling this is going to be terrifying as fuck.
Well, do you remember what Paul Tobin book I've talked about on here before?
Yeah, Bunny Mask.
Oh, okay, there you go. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's why it's all you, buddy.
Yep.
I need you to read it first and make sure it's safe for me to read.
You're reading Mammoth from Mad Cave too, right? Isn't that Paul Tobin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I think it is. Then I'm going to take us through these other few here. IDW, we got My Little Pony Maritime Mysteries, issue 3. Might be a little scary for Mac. TMNT Night Watcher, issue 1. This is by Juni Ba and Ferro Panicha, excuse me. Mad Cave, we got Soul Taker, issue 2. And Defenders of the Earth, issue 1. This is by Dan DiDio and Jim Califore. This is also part of all the Flash Gordon stuff that's going to be ongoing consistently throughout. From Vault, we got Barbaric versus Deathstalker, issue 1. Tim Seeley, Stephen Kostansky, and Nathan Gooden. Obviously, I've been talking a ton about Deathstalker. So Tim Seeley is the writer on Deathstalker, and then Nathan Gooden is the artist on Barbaric. So very excited to see how these cross over. I think this has so much potential, and I would honestly be stunned if we don't see more after this first one, but they don't need to announce the second one yet by any means, I wouldn't think. And then from Dynamite, we got Red Sonja Empire of the Damned, issue 5. Darkwing Duck, Negaduck, issue 7, as Joe promised. Look at that. Vampirella, 671. And then Johnny Quest, issue 1 by Joe Casey and Sebastian Parise, which brings us to the week of the 21st, Joe. What do we got from Marvel?
All right. We have Ultimate Spider-Man, issue 8. Star Wars, issue 49. Deadpool, issue 5. Phoenix, issue 2. Did you read Phoenix 1?
No.
Yeah, excellent. Good stuff. Check it out. Read it. Ghost Rider, Final Vengeance, issue 6. Scarlet Witch, issue 3. Get Fury, issue 4. Spider-Woman, issue 10. Daredevil, Woman Without Fear, issue 2. Namor, issue 2. And a slew of number 1s here. We have Wolverine, Revenge, issue 1.
Massive.
Written by Jonathan Hickman with art by Greg Capullo. I mean, come on, son.
Yeah.
Come on, son. You ain't reading this. The fuck you doing?
Exactly.
Venomous, issue 1, written by Erica Schultz with art by Luciano Vecchio. Venomore Carnage issue 1, written by Torin Gronbach with art by Pierre Perez. Predator vs. Black Panther issue 1, written by friend of the show Benjamin Percy with art by Chris Allen.
Hell yeah.
We have Giant Size Thor issue 1, written by Al Ewing with art by Brian Lovell. And Miles Morales Spider-Man Annual issue 1, written by Cody Ziegler and Curtis Baxter. The bad man punted Baxter. With art
So you
by...
know I don't speak Spanish.
You ate the entire wheel of cheese. I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. With art by David Baldion. What do we have, Nicholas, from DC Comics?
Real quick, just a reminder for everybody, if you didn't check out Predator versus Wolverine, which was also written by Benjamin Percy, very much missed out there. And that is why I am all in on Predator versus Black Panther. Because
up. Can't use all in when talking about a Marvel book. Come on, son.
Oh, what are you going for here? Well done, sir. All right, DC. Moving on. We got John Constantine, Hellblazer, Dead in America, issue 8.
We got props for how we pronounced Constantine. Rhymes with swine.
Yes, sir. Right? Yeah, and for that commenter, whoever, if they didn't know, if they don't know why we got corrected, it's because we had Cy Spurrier on the show. So
I let them know. I informed them. I always comment back. I always comment.
You
back
do.
to
Yes, you do. You are a man of the people. Nightwing issue 117, Batman Superman World's Finest issue 30, which Dan Mora is not going to be doing much more of that anymore. I don't know which issue is his final one, or he talked about that like on Twitter. Yeah. So he's a busy man though. Like he's going to be we're not going to be running out of Dan Mora stuff.
I'm surprised this series has gone on for 30 issues, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's crushed it, right? I mean, people have been loving it. Superman issue 17, Wonder Woman issue 12, Titans issue 14, Green Lantern War Journal issue 12, Dark Knights of Steel All Winter issue 2. This is the Deathstroke series that Joe and I were talking about before. So fucking good. And Jay Kristoff, like he is a novelist, and he is a fucking outstanding novelist. And when I've read I haven't finished the full Nevernight Chronicles. I'm in the 3rd book right now, the final one. But my wife introduced me to that, and he's written another series, I think it's Empire of the Vampire, that she's really enjoying. He's so good, and he actually is like writing friends with Tom Taylor, so I'm sure that's how this all came to be. But when I saw he was getting involved, it's like I have to check it out. And like just on that, never mind like that it's Dark Knights of Steel, which is really cool. We're seeing Deathstroke in that world, which is cool. All that is an interesting concept. But this guy is just a fucking killer writer. If he does more comic stuff, watch out, everybody. Like this guy's going to be a name in the industry really fast if he wants to be. Then we got Gotham City Sirens issue 3, Batman Wade Family Adventures issue 126, and then Jenny Sparks issue 1, which is a Tom King and Jeff Spokes joint. This is with a Wildstorm character that they're bringing back. So getting Jenny Sparks getting her own title for now. Sure, which brings us to Image
Skybound. We have King Spawn issue 37, Destro issue 3. Man, I can't say this enough. The Energon universe is one of the best things in comics going right now. And Destro, a character I couldn't give two poops about. If you said his name 6 months ago, man, whatever. It's fucking fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Redcoat issue 5, The Walking Dead Deluxe issue 95, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, issue 309, Local Man, issue 13, Rat City, issue 5, Black Cloak, number 7, Witchblade, issue 2, Perio, issue 6, Blood Squad, 7, issue 4, Plastic Death and Dolls, issue 3, Self-Help, issue 3, and a couple of number ones. We have Stand Still, issue 1, written by Lee Luthridge with art by Andrew Robinson, and Impact Winter, Even Fall, issue 1, written by Travis Beecham with art by Sumyi Kesjin. I believe this is also based off of an Audible series.
Yeah, because you read another like installment previously, and you really liked that. I remember.
I did, and I've got the audio. The however many episodes. It's Impact Winter 1 and 2, right?
Mm-hmm. I need to start. I need to read Per Evil just so I can fucking talk about it on the show, just to fuck with you, because I get you got once you read Witchblade, you like short circuited. You're like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do?
I'm gonna get Branson real fast. So
I saw that slight look, like pause and look in your eye. And I'm like, oh no, he knows what's coming. Oh God. All right, moving over to
I was
Boom.
thinking of skipping it all together, but I was like, I'll read through it real fast, so I don't give a fucking shit.
Oh man, from Boom we got Briar issue 8, Blow Away issue 5, Berserker, The Lost Book of B issue 1, Lawful issue 3, which I know you've been enjoying Lawful, and you had
Excellent.
dibs on that. Yep.
Mhm.
Power Rangers Infinity. This is the only issue 1 from Boom this week. This is by Sam Humphries and Ro Stein.
From Dark Horse, we have Star Wars: The High Republic Adventures issue 9, Paranoid Gardens issue 2. Did you read issue 1? Probably didn't. Excellent. Excellent.
Dibs?
Well, so like I possibly.
Okay. I'll give you wait till the
Right?
second issue. Yep.
It's funny because I can't remember who the artist is on this, but I get Sean Lewis, who's the artist, did Coyotes with Sean
Oh,
Lewis.
Yarsky. Caitlin Yarsky.
Caitlin Yarsky, thank you. Like it's got very Caitlin Yarsky vibes to the art, and mostly it's the eyes because she has a very distinct way she draws eyes. But this was a unique story
Oh
where
yeah.
it's you know what, I will call dibs because
This is Gerard Way. I remember you talking about this from now, and the art is by Chris Weston.
yes, thank you. It's this lady going. It's a nurse at this sort of like I don't want to call it an old folks home, but it's a home. But all the people at the home are all like aliens and mutants and shit. It's just wildly bananas. And I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much. So Paranoid Gardens issue 2.
Yeah.
Usagi Yojimbo, The Crow, issue 5. Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, issue 6. Joy Operations 2, issue 3, and then 2 number ones. One I'm very much looking forward to, Nightclub 2, issue 1, written by Mark Millar, with art by Juan and Ramirez. I talked about Nightclub on this show previously. Excellent series. So can't wait for that. And then there's Patra, issue 1, written by James Robinson, with art by Scott Collins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is one I might actually give a look at. It seems I'm just gonna read a real quick here from the synopsis. A young girl named Patra wakes up with no memory of her past. All she knows is that a big knife and a horrific mask appear whenever she's in danger. Oh, that and a deranged killer in the tradition of 1980s slasher films who is
Enjoy that.
slaughtering families in a small Midwestern town and wants to make Patra his victim too. Yeah.
Yeah, all you.
Oh, alrighty.
Go bananas.
Have you read The Harrower yet?
No.
Oh, Boom series, man. That's fucking.
I know.
It's
I know.
really good.
October's around the corner, Nicholas. I have to have some books for October.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna do. We're not doing like top horror books of all time again.
No, we're gonna do. We'll do something, Nicholas.
Well,
right?
no. Of course, we will. But I'm just like we are making sure because like last time, Keith hadn't read it and you hadn't read it because I had dibs and whatever. So like it wasn't. I don't think I would have had it. I don't think I had it in my top 10. It was like on the fringes, but I just want to make sure that everybody's like seen it before we ever do something like that again. Anyways, moving on. From AWA, we got Red Light issue 4. From IDW, we got Sonic the Hedgehog issue 72, Star Trek issue 23, My Little Pony Set Your Sail issue 5. From Mad Cave, we got Dick Tracy issue 4, Gotcha Man Galactor issue 2, and then When the Blood Has Dried issue 5, and Morning Star issue 5. I'll take us through these last few, Joe, because we guys kick us off with Marvel. From Titan, we got Conan the Barbarian issue 4 and Huge Detective issue 1. This is by Adam Rose and Magenta King. From Ablaze, we got Torpedo 1972 issue 6, Saint Seiya Knights of the Zodiac Time Odyssey issue 5. That is I think that may be the longest one of the
Tighten it up, so please.
Dynamite, we got Thundercats issue 7, Fire and Ice issue 3, Gargoyles Quest issue 4, and the Powerpuff Girls issue 2. And that brings us to the final week of August, Joe, at for the 28th.
It's about damn time.
Yes.
Okay. So for 8/28, 2024. From Marvel, we have The Amazing Spider-Man issue 56, Ultimate X-Men issue 6, Fantastic Four issue 24, X-Men issue 3, Captain America issue 12, X-Force issue 2, Nyx issue 2. I caved. Spider-Gwen, The Ghost Spider issue 4, Venom Separation Anxiety issue 4, Venomverse Reborn issue 3, Ahsoka issue 2, and then the number ones that we have. Holy shit, do we have some number
Yeah.
ones? Jesus. Calm your tits, Marvel. Jesus. We have the Incredible Hulk Annual issue 1, written by Derek Landry and art by Jeff Shaw of what's
Crossover.
the crossover? Thank you. I was gonna say crossed out, different book. Aliens vs. Avengers issue 1 by Hickman and Assad Rebek. We have Phases of the Moon Knight issue 1, written by Erica Schultz with art by Manuel Garcia. Man, Marvel's all in on Erica Schultz.
Yeah,
Right?
there's a lot from her there, and then I mean, this is the first non-McKay Moon Knight thing we're seeing right now too. Like him getting some
Yeah.
extra stuff. I'm excited for this. This is like kind of like a Moon Knight in time thing. I don't know if it sounds like it's kind of going to be anthology-ish, maybe. Like, but I don't know if that means Erica Schultz is going to be doing different stories with each one, or if it's
She's
going to be
just doing
different. Yeah,
right.
she's doing the first one. So
Gotcha.
I'm absolutely going to be checking this out because it's like we're not just getting. Well, I think the first thing we get is Mark Spector, but then like there's a second story in this issue, and
Yeah.
then it's not him, and I don't think the rest of it will be either. So
Gotcha. We have Venomore Zombiotes issue 1 by Kevin Scott and Juan Jose Rip. We have the Marvel's 85th anniversary special. We have the Deadpool team up issue 1 by Rob Liefeld. Next, Chasm Curse of Cain issue 1, written by Steve Fox with art by Andrea Brocardio. And what do we have from DC Comics? What, when I botched that one?
well,
Brocardio?
yeah, you didn't botch that much, but just cardio. It's funny.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
Brocardio.
Anyway.
Sorry, I don't speak Italian like you do, Nicholas. Jesus, in Italy for like 5 days. All of a sudden, he's Sebastian Maniscalco over here.
Buongiorno.
Yeah.
When we started when we were like on the train on the way to our first Italy stop, I was dropping just to Lauren. I was like, Buongiorno. It's like, you know, the Brad Pitt version of it. She was like, that's like, really? And I was like, I'm not doing that when I say it to people in Italy. Like, I'll try.
You should have.
Buongiorno. No, people were great. Anyways, so DC Comics, Detective Comics 1088, Green Arrow issue 15, The Flash issue 12, Justice Society of America issue 11, Zatanna Bring Down the House issue 3, Batman Brave and the Bold issue 16, Power Girl issue 12, Absolute Power Task Force 7 issue 5, Batman Dark Age issue 5, Batman 89 Echoes issue 4, Absolute Power Origins issue 2, The Nice House by the Sea issue 2, Gotham City Sirens issue 4, and then we got 0 Hour 30th Anniversary Special issue 1, which brings us to Image.
All right, we have the return of Saga issue 68, Void Rivals issue 12, Spawn 356, Department of Truth issue 25, Rook Exodus issue 5, Monstrous issue 54, The Sacrificers issue 11, Rogue Sun issue 21, Philadelphia baby issue 35, Grommets issue 4, The Last Mermaid issue 6,
Oh yeah,
Knights issue 10, Savage Dragon issue 272. Not a coincidence that that's dropping with Philadelphia. Spawn Kills Every Spawn issue 2, Remote Space issue 3, Drawing Blood issue 5, Lego Ninjago Shattersmith issue 2, and then we have 2 number ones. Their Universal Monster series so far has been excellent. James Tynion did Dracula. Dan Waters is just wrapped up Creature from the Black Lagoon, and now we have Frankenstein issue 1, written and drawn by Michael Walsh, who did The Silver Coin, right?
Yeah.
So this should be excellent. And then we have Convert issue 1, written by John Arcudi with art by Savannah Finley.
The Frankenstein one, like the approach on that shit's really cool too. It sounds like we're gonna get stories on all the different body parts of Frankenstein too. So that's awesome. All right, from Boom, we got Something Is Killing the Children issue 40, Grimm issue 20, Hello Darkness issue 2,
My old friend.
I thought the same thing. Uncanny Valley issue 5, Dune House Carino issue 5. And then we got Farscape 25th anniversary special issue 1, and then Farscape archived edition issue 1, which I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a Farscape guy, so I don't know.
Yeah, same here. From a Dark Horse, we have Helen of Windhorn issue 4.
Hell yeah.
Masters of the Universe Revolution, Me and the Revolution issue 4.
What the fuck was
Chappelle Show, you and your crew versus me and the Revolution. Benanzi Boys, issue 3. Nemesis Rogues Gallery, issue 2. William of Newbury, issue 4. Pleasant little series. Love it to pieces. I actually think you'd like it. It's kind of up your alley there with the monks and the religious stuff.
Okay.
The Goon, Them Don't Stay Dead, issue 3. Critical Role Vox Machina Origins, issue 4. I feel like you could just title it Vox Machina Origins issue 4.
The Critical Role stuff is definitely like that's a corporate thing.
Lunar Lodge issue 2, Resident Alien, The Book of Life issue 3, The Writer issue 3, Assassin's Creed Mirage, A Soar of Eagles issue 2. And from AWA, Nicholas, you and I issue 6, but I feel like, didn't we say that already?
We did already. Yeah. So not sure. This is, we may have that one slightly off. Anyways, from IDW, we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Black, White, and Green, issue 4. More of the black and white, as you mentioned. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Saturday Morning Adventures, issue 16. Perfect for your younger readers. Godzilla versus the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, volume 2, issue 2. The Hunger and the Dusk, book 2, issue 2, which Joe hopefully will talk about on the show so I can read soon. Star Trek Defiant, issue 18. The Rocketeer Breaks Free, issue 2. Then from Mad Cave, we got Nottingham, issue 15. Sanction, issue 4, which you have dibs on, as well as The Mammoth, issue 3. And then The Last Wardens, issue 2, which you have dibs on, and I remember you doing an early look on that a while back. Yes. Then we got Titan, The Savage Sword of Conan, issue 4. Blade Runner, Tokyo Nexus, issue 2. From Ablaze, we got Almost Dead, issue 3. Saint Seiya, Knights of Zodiac, Time Odyssey, issue 4. I feel like I said that. Anyways,
this is always where like the last week of a month always gets squirrely with League of Comic Geeks.
Yes, it does. Dynamite, Red Sonja, issue 13, Lilo and Stitch, issue 6, Army of Darkness, Forever, issue 11, and Sweetie Candy, Vigilante, issue 4. And lastly, from Vault, we have Lilith, which is written and drawn by Corinne Howell. And this marks the launch of a new adult imprint over at Vault called Threshold. So I'm going to be checking this one out. I feel like I've seen this character drawn for a long while on Twitter. And it's definitely like a little risque and everything like that. So if you're interested in that too for your comics and whatnot, I think it's going to be worth checking out. This is a character who's been banished from her home, dimensional planes, and she's on one that's from one. Sorry, I'm just going to read the synopsis. Lilith is an immortal who's been banished from her home, a dimensional plane suspiciously similar to mankind's idea of hell. She's been posing as a model on Earth while secretly preying on humans. That is, until she runs into Penelope, a sweet bookstore owner with a tome that might hold the secret to returning Lilith to her dimension. So I'm going to be checking this one out. Again, it's new initiative for Vault and everything. So I'm hoping that it goes well. But that is it. That is a Solicit. That is how it's done. Holy shit! This is. Whew. All righty, Joe. This is.
I love how you waited I love how you waited. Violet, love you, kid. Stop. I love how you waited an hour and 28 minutes to rip a synopsis.
Yeah,
it's driving me bananas.
All right, that is going to do it for us this week. Again, reminder: make sure you subscribe to the audio channels. Joe, we have the Friar Side chat coming up, but until we convene next, stay sexy.
Yeah, you know it. Oh God, this kid.